Returning home. With the Lalafell in Ariana's capable hands, we needn't worry about affairs here in our absence. Then, knowing now the face of their earthly collaborators, there is much to discuss with Alphino and the others. Let's return to the Tower of Babel. Our battle for the star will soon begin in earnest. We must be prepared. The Zodiac is dead. Let's recap. Zodiac's dead. And the end of the world is here. Like, exit to the Nether Gate. If I can scarcely believe we went to the moon and back. We'll have time to reflect on that later. Right now, we need to head back to the Camp Broken Glass and deliver a thorough, detailed report. I very much know how everyone is getting on here as well. We only just begun to treat the Tupper prisoners when we I share your curiosity. But warning our allies of the final days is of a great importance. I speak not only of the contingent force. The heads of state of every nation must know what we've learned. We know not when or where or in what manner the final days will begin to manifest. So we must see that everyone is prepared. Agreed. But we may wish to stress the importance of discretion, lest the public be set into a panic. Not that anyone in a position of responsibility should need to be told as much, but it bears. Anyway, first things first. Oh my god. Yeah, when we get the main story to 85, I'm actually going to clear all this out. Right now, I just want some symbionts of, like, story for a bit. We'll clear that out, we'll clear the moon, and we'll also be able to get flying here and probably on the moon, too. Good to see you all again. No worse for your lunar adventure, I hope. We've done what we can for now. And believe me, we tend to tell you all about it. But before we do, might you tell us what became of Golemon in our absence? We succeeded in subduing the Tupper inside the Tower of Power. We took many lives, but combined with those who were already in our custody, the number requiring care has grown exponentially. The concealment conditions have made it difficult, if not impossible, to treat them all here. So we have petitioned the aid of the allied nations. Some are understandably hesitant to proffer assistance, particularly those that have recently subject to imperial occupation. That said, several others have agreed to grant them refuge for treatment. The assistance of your fellow scions, we endeavor to see them safely transported and substantially cured of their tempering. Will all the temper be located? Not all, no. We have sufficient shelter to attend to those who treatment began, and enough healers have volunteered to remain until their patients have recovered. Julius is one such patient, though he is not yet fit to receive visitors. Truth be told, it was a miracle he and those in his company were not harmed in the chaos. Not for Alfredo and Alice's timely assistance. I'll dare say none of them would be with us today. In light of recent developments, have the Alliance leaders come to any decision regarding Guillemot? Given the tremendous ramifications of what has happened here, it will take time to determine what must be done. In the meantime, they intend to work with the Eastern Alliance to keep a close watch over the provinces. We have other news to share. Shortly after Anima was defeated, we received reports that each and every tower has vanished. Yay! The towers are gone. Oh, mercy? Hang on. For mercy, the process was apparently not quite as violent as that you experienced in Fabnan. Those who were trapped within them have been rescued or are receiving treatment. To hasten this endeavor, the beast tribes have received instruction in the magics needed to cure tempering. Master Victoria is no doubt thrilled the Mother Mercy affords her so many visitors. Yes, we are grateful for our ongoing efforts, as well as those of our comrades near and far. As for the contingent, some of our members have been granted leave to return to their homeland after the transfer of Tempered has been completed. Lucio and I will remain, along with a small force, to continue offering aid to those here in Guillemot. The Empire may be no more. There are yet those who call these lands home. I believe that accounts for the recent event here. So what of the moon and the Taropaloi? Final days, God, I prayed your victory would mark the end of our troubles. There's still much we do not know, but the Alliance leaders must be told. To be willing to contact them in our stead. Look, I will somewhere forthwith. Also release your fellow scions from their present duty, that they may return to Charlian. Your energies are better spent finding a means to avert the coming apocalypse. Speaking of your fellow scions, you would be happy to hear that Mistress Crow, who is still on the mound, has been moved to the Valdesian Enix and given into Kataru's care. Thank you, I look forward to seeing them both upon our turn. Let us be on our way then. One last thing, if I may. After your confrontation with Zodiac, you said Xenos took his leave and in all likelihood returned here to Guillemot? I have a mind to dispatch scouts to try and ascertain his whereabouts, but first wish to ask if you believe there is merit in doing so. An animal, but fruitful. Nah, he's got to stay quiet. Ah, you are the only foe he considers worthy. Even if my men found him, who but you could even hope to bring low that monster? Pray forget I entertained the notion. While on the subject of Xeno, the 10th Legion has made an official proclamation. They denounced the Crown Prince and condemned his role in the Empire's downfall. His very title has become a source of shame among his former subjects, and its continued use serves only to hinder relationships with foreign nations. For this reason, he has been declared as Xenos Viator Galvus, outcast and enemy of Gallimar. That won't me. Van Daniel is no more, and now his own people turn against him. It seems he's not but his bloodlust to keep him company. He ain't gonna care. Better that than an army to see it stated. At any rate, I will not keep you longer. I pray your safe passage back to Shorian. Wow. Over 1,000 to go over there? Welcome back, Ronald. We were so terribly worried about you. Though what it is plain that is caused by... I have caused my own fair share of worry. For that I apologize. Idolin called to me that day when you entered the Tower of Babel. Her pleas were faint but desperate, and I knew that at once she required a vessel to carry out her will. What comes after feels like a dream. Barely remember my body flowing through the life stream towards Gallimar. When I regained consciousness, I was all aches and frostbite. Exhausted of ether, so exhausted that I couldn't even laugh, for it was in that moment I understood Raha's weariness from the Tower of Zot. What that I could laugh at a time like this, though we prevented Zodiac from being unleashed upon the world, I am curious to know what else took place there on the moon. Perhaps we should wait for the others to join before you give your account. Let's reconvene in the main office. Wait for your comrades, yes. It's like biting into a brick. And I don't like it. I don't like it at all. Pizza is terrible. But I have to eat something. I feel like I'm gonna break my teeth on it. I'd be surprised if I already have. We have kept you all waiting. Not at all. We understand you've been quite busy. Voyager be joining us? Duty keeps him away, I'm afraid, though. Ronald can explain why better than I. Final days, as we felt, am I right? And we are to escape via the moon? What other source in its reflections? I have no intention of standing by while the world falls to ruin. So how do we stop that? Unfortunately, we have no answer at present. If the celestial currents have grown stagnant, as was the case in the time of Amarat, the solution would be to alter the flow of ether throughout the entirety of the star. The ancients accomplished this by summoning Zodiac, sacrificing half the star's population doing so, but it should go without saying that such a sacrifice cannot be repeated. Which leaves us with the daunting task of identifying the underlying catalyst for the final day. A feat which even the Amarathians could not accomplish. Fortunately, we found no clues in Mare Crematorium. There is still much we do not know about the catastrophe itself, let alone what may have caused it. The final days were marked by the corruption of the Amarathians' creation magic. And we command no such power, which invites the question, what havoc is in store for us? If we knew that much, perhaps we could draw some parallel with the events of the past and thereby form some semblance of a plan. Perhaps we just start with the forum, then. Having worked with the Lalafell in secret all this time, there are surely more they can tell us. Forgive the interruption, but I have urgent news. The forum is holding a public assembly in a class outside. Some sort of announcement. What is Father up to now? One way to find out. They're gonna say it finally. They're gonna announce that the final days are here. They're gonna say that the final days are here, but I wonder if they're gonna say about the moon. Oh.
Order! Order, I say! I thank you all for gathering here on such short notice. This day we must speak of grave affairs and their implications for the future of Sharlayan, nay, of this very star. Said affairs concern all citizens, and so we have called for a public assembly. You may have heard rumors of the Lalafell and the havoc these madmen wreak abroad. Under normal circumstances, we would pay little heed to petty disturbances outside our borders. The final days, however, are another matter altogether. For we dare not ignore these prophetic words of Eld. The Endbearers will come, ushering chaos and calamity. The final days descend and devour the very star.
I've never heard this prophecy.
Is it true? Will all that really happen?
Calm yourselves. The time has come to speak of the Forum's most sacred duties.
Yep.
Give voice to the voiceless. Let bindings be unbound. By unanimous decree, I declare the enchantment broken.
The book that holds their memories.
Master Leveilleur, if you would.
Very well. 270 years ago, our forebears began an expedition in the Dravanian hinterlands, in search of a route to access the ethereal sea. This much is public knowledge. Their findings, however, would become the Forum's most closely guarded secret. What those researchers discovered in the hinterlands was not a passage unto the ethereal sea, but the very heart of our star, and Hydaelyn herself. She spoke to them of a calamity that would extinguish all life, and of a means by which we might be spared. The moon. 'Tis in truth a gargantuan vessel built to serve as sanctuary for her children and deliver them from this doom. Much like Nunkref's hope in ages past, it will bear the people of a world in the throes of death to a new home.
Needless to say, this will be no small undertaking. To facilitate the great work, the Forum has maintained close contact with the servants of Hydaelyn, who presently reside on the moon. Convinced that the foretold end was all but inevitable, we began amassing a wealth of knowledge, not merely for the betterment of our nation, but in preparation for the journey to come.
You reveal this to us now? By the gods, how long do we have?
While we cannot say with certainty, we believe the hour to be nigh. We received a transmission from the moon suggesting as much not long ago. Which is why we must in earnest begin preparations for the great exodus. For his impressive contributions, and the leadership he demonstrated during our withdrawal from Dravania, we have elected Master Leveilleur to oversee this initiative.
Fellow scribes and scholars, my countrymen, we face a threat of unprecedented scale. We must challenge the trials before us with composure and conviction if we are to find salvation. The wisdom of Sharlayan has ever been a shining beacon in the darkness, and so it shall continue to be. It is our solemn charge to see our heritage preserved for future generations. For those who will come after, we will brave a new frontier.
Administrative edicts will be relayed to all major institutions ere long. In the meantime, carry on with your duties. With that, I hereby call this assembly to a close.
But the question is it going to be everyone in the world? Or are you going to play select few? The chosen ones that are allowed to go are allowed to leave, and the rest, they have to die. You actually told him everything.
Do you remember what Mother told us when we visited home? That it wasn't until after we were born that Father seemed to lose himself in his work. If that great work of his was the evacuation of this star, then...
Yes. It wasn't for his benefit. Would you mind waiting here a moment? I wish to speak with Father before we leave.
Keep it civil, eh?
I may look daggers at him, but I will neither speak nor draw them.
If it's all the same to you, I have a few choice words to share with Father as well.
So, come to call us cowards and bid us join your fruitless battle against the inevitable.
Nay, we do not object to the Forum's proposal. On the contrary, those who wish to flee have every right to do so.
At least we have a side plan.
Orianger is cooperating with your associates on the moon to ensure that all is ready should evacuation be our only recourse.
Then whatever your business, I suggest you be brief.
Though we cannot boast the boundless wisdom of Charlian, we have first-hand knowledge of foreign cultures, and have conversed with no small number of peoples. These experiences have taught us fundamental truths that cannot be recorded in any tome, nor charted on any map. The beating heart of this planet is its people, many of whom would give anything, even their lives, to protect the lands they love. Many may choose to join you in the end. But what of those unwilling or unable, for whom escape will never be an option? What would you have them do? To ignore the plight of those one might conceivably save is not wisdom, Father. It is indolence. This is why we choose to fight.
We'll not ask for your understanding, Father. Only that you don't turn a blind eye to the good we have done. That we can still do. We're not children in need of protection. Hold fast to your principles and let the world burn if it please. But we believe there is still another way. And if there is, we will find it. You see if we don't.
Do as you will. Just stay out of our way.
Were he not so consumed with self-righteousness, he might tell you how proud he is of you both.
Exactly.
Bold words call for bold action, and there'll be no turning to your father should plans go awry.
As if I ever would. So long as there are those who wish to stay and fight for this star, we have to do what we can to help them.
And if we're to do that, we'll need to be well rested.
No time to rest.
Wouldn't you agree? And having triumphed over what we once thought to be the source of all evil, I can think of no one in greater need of at least a dozen winks.
No rest for the wicked. Don't have time.
Shall we then? To the Annex, to prepare for tomorrow.
It's already tomorrow. What are you talking about? I just watched the sun literally come up, so it's like, right next to us. Trust me. Oh snap! We might actually reach 86 now. Crowd tells me the forum made a rather momentous announcement, so there will be a great incident, is there? I'm reminded of my narrow escape from the Lalafell. The realization, the running, the mixture of release of Gareth after. Why me, I ask myself, why me? Why us? Why now? Why wonder? There's no use fretting over the cosmic morality or lack thereof. We're here, and we'll get through this together. And who knows, maybe my luck will rub off and grant everyone a narrow escape. There's no harm in praying for as much. Oh, but enough of my rambling. I'm sure you're exhausted. Your chamber awaits. Oh. The visitor has come knocking on her. Who could it be? One. It's the goddess boy. It is cat. Oh my.
Oh, apologies. I didn't mean to. If you could spare a moment before bed. Thank you. I fear this may be the last quiet night we have to talk for quite some time. I am troubled of late. Unwarranted concerns, perhaps. I hope. Nevertheless, I feel compelled to share them with you. Though you have bested your enemies thus far, Xenos and even Zodiac, your victories have come at a considerable cost to yourself.
Yes.
No one is without their limits, and you are no exception.
I know.
I worry the added weight of the final days will prove more than you can bear. It is surely too much for any one man. But you needn't bear it alone. Let me share your burden. My, carrying capacity pales in comparison to yours, but I could still help. Shoulder the occasional satchel from your ever-growing mountain of, baggage. You have already done so much to help relieve me of mine own encumbrances. 'Tis only fair that I repay you in kind. Of course, it needn't be only troubles we share. Moments of joy may seem few and far between now, but there will come a time when we look back fondly on this journey.
Hmm.
The inquiry at the Forum, our march through the snows of Garlemald, our impromptu dinner in this very room. All of it. And that is to say nothing of the journeys yet to come. To the ends of the world and beyond. But tomorrow will be no less busy than today, and I've kept you from your rest long enough. Sleep well, my friend.
A while earlier. In the Alameda. Uh-oh. I guess this is where it's gonna start. It'll start here.
Thank the gods that tower is gone. The sight of it was enough to make me sick.
Thank the Ilsebar contingent, more like. Word is, they fought their way into Garlemald and toppled the bloody thing themselves. Not just the one, neither. All the towers have up and vanished.
Aye, I heard the same. Commander Aldin and his troops helped keep casualties to a minimum, too. But is it true they brought back tempered Garlean soldiers?
As Commander Aldin tells it, they've a treatment for that now. But don't you worry. Cured or not, they've no plans to bring them into the city proper.
I see. Well, that's a relief then. I know we've brothers and sisters among the lot, but I can't say I'm eager to welcome them home.
Wanted to think about it for a while yet. They're to be looked after in Alagana for the time being.
What in the world? Meanwhile, discard. So it's beginning. It'll hit all at once. Hey, isn't that?
Another day, another commission of paramount importance. Well, what have we here? Hey, are you all right? Was that? No. The shadows play tricks, nothing more.
It's here.
The towers are gone, and the Garlean threat is abated. And yet, why does it feel as though it's about to get much, much worse?
I guess he wasn't there when they announced about the final days kind of being here and the moon and such. Gonna start there. The top goes the clocks. Guys aflame. So now we're at 85. It's the goal I wanted, actually. Yeah, I wanted to do side quests now and start unlocking areas and certain things for later on. Yeah. The specimen came from the moon. That specimen came from the moon. Good to see you around. Good to see you, Ronald. I've heard a great deal about your recent exploits, as has everyone else. That's why I feel confident recommending you for associate level hunts. The challenges you face from here on out will be sufficiently tougher to contend with, but I wager you can handle them. You've yet to give me a reason to believe otherwise. Associate specimens are not only more threatening, but also more difficult to track down. You'll have to seek them out in the world's most inaccessible and inhospitable reaches, like bloody Golem. Gods, I hate that place. Now, if Isabar, or his unfriendly North was our only problem, I'll simply remind you to strap on your furs and take some ale on the road. But, well, perhaps it's best if you ask her what she's working on. There's nothing quite like hearing it straight from the chocobo's mouth. Yes, I heard from here. I insist I'll tell you precisely what I'm dealing with at the moment. Let's look at this request for an minute, shall we? She's Charlie and Shore, a xenobiologist, a self-proclaimed one, mind you. And it's her horizon to prove that life exists upon stars other than our own. The Astro Mirrors have long since banned her from their meetings and refused any requests she makes on principle, but alas, we have no such strategy. She's been demanding samples from the moon for some time now, despite the impossibility of requiring them. Associate hunts often present such challenges, one with no ready solution. Though we gleaners pride ourselves with our resourcefulness, all we can do is, in such cases, post them on the board and hope for a miracle. Try telling that to the clients, though. In any case, I would be thankful if you take a look at the board to try and hand in any bills that suit you. The guild ship has high hope for your success. No pressure, of course. But now we can do mid-level, I guess. Big bills are searching for Oh, you can use nuts to get. Ooh. Oh, there's no. I mean, I can get the. Oh. 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 Kitty. Anyway. Oh, okay, I had to get further in. Alright, let's do this. Yeah, there's your script exchange. And your merchant. No. The facility. It's you! You're the one Scarif was telling us about, right? Ronald, yes? Mm-hmm. Brilliant. Just the man I was hoping to see. As I'm sure you are aware, the Studium is the most educational institution in all of Sharian. As such, we make a point of only working with the best educators and students. The gleaners we employ are also held to the same high standards, of course, which is perhaps why it has been so difficult to find the assistance we need of late. Surely you understand the trouble of finding competent and capable help. That you are come here suggests you are willing to lend a hand, though I'm certain you would have much to glean working with us if such. If so, do let me know should you commit in lending your services to the Studium. I should warn you, however, there is much I must explain ere we begin. So please be certain you have sufficient time. I've got time. Now allow me to explain our work here. Professors and students from our many facilities gather and researchers meet in order to do business with and recruit reputable individuals such as yourself. Allow me to briefly introduce those here at present. Here we have Boric, Facility of Archaeology. He works as an assistant to one Professor Willerusha and is currently seeking a skilled metal worker to store an ancient relic. Then there's Jude, who brings to the Facility of Astronomy. He seems to be looking for an artisan able to work with leather, cloth, or wood, but he wouldn't tell me much more than that. He's awfully shy, you see. Next we have Devray, student studying the Faculty of Medicine. I'm fairly sure she's carrying our research under the supervision of Professor. In any case, I hear she's after someone who knows a thing or two about medicine and nutrition. Here's Hank of anthropology. She's told me she's searching for botanists and miners at present. By the sounds of it, she and Professor Tankin are dealing with a formidable task. Last but not least is Professor Lalafell, an associate professor in the Facility of Meteorology. I heard he's in need of a fisher to help him conduct research in his thesis. Unfortunately, things do not seem to be progressing well for him at the moment. Okay. I'd say those 5 are the ones most in need of supplementary aid. I'll leave it to your discretion as to who you choose to help, although you forewarn, academics can be something of an odd bunch. Be sure not to leave anyone in the lurch after you've agreed to help them. So all of this, you may now undertake deliveries at the Studium. Speak to those belonging to the Institute's various ones. I don't know what ails them. And oh boy, look at that. It's 5 quests. A bunch of quests now. They're all crafting and gathering quests. But he will come back another time with that. Let's go to Babnair real quick. Oh, it's Joe! Hey! He did it! He's in! Oh. He did it! He got in finally! So this is 85, this is 80. We already know the story is going to take us here next, because Fafnir, it showed on the map that Fafnir was affected first. But right now, there's no side quest here. But there is a ton here. So, yeah, there's a billion of them, and we could clear out. We're gonna try and get flying in this area. Yeah, I get. Alright, let's get started. Yeah, everything's in. I do want to check. I haven't been home in a while. Plus, I want to kind of take a quick break before we start all that. Right. Plus, I want to get into contact with Jiro for a moment. Take a break and talk to him for a bit. Talk to him for a bit, and then see where he is in the story. I probably could have just looked at his situation, but yeah.